In this lesson, we're going to add fractions with different denominators. And I've got a couple of fractions here that I'm going to add together. I have 1/2, which is represented here. And I have 1/4, which is represented over here. And you can see by the different size of the fractions that you can't add them together. If you were to add them together, you would get something that looked like this. You would have 1/2, and then you would add this over here, which is 1/4, and you'd end up with 2 out of 6, and 2 out of 6 reduces to 1/3, which is not the right answer, so that doesn't work. So you can't just add them together because of the different size of the pieces of fractions. So let's get rid of that. That's why you can't just simply add them together. So what you need to do now is you need to take 1/2 and add it to 1/4. And the simplest way for you guys to do this is to multiply your denominators. So 2 times 4 becomes 8. And you're going to add another 8 here. So you're going to turn each fraction into 8s. So looking at the first fraction, 2 times 4 gives you 8. So whatever you multiply the bottom by, you have to multiply the top number or the numerator by. So 1 times 4 becomes 4. And you'll notice that you have an equivalent fraction. 4/8 is equivalent to 1/2. So let's look at the second fraction. You have 4. Now what did you multiply the 4 by to get 8? Well, you multiplied it by the other denominator, which was 2. So 4 times 2 is 8. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do the top. So 1 times 2 is 2. And you'll notice that 4/8 plus 2/8 is the same thing as 1/2 plus 1/4. Our next step is, because we have common denominators, is just to go ahead and add your numerators together. So 4 plus 2, and you keep your denominator the same. So that becomes 4/2. 4 plus 2 is 6/8. Now 6/8 looks totally different than what we had before. We have to make a shape out of 8s. So there's 4, there's 8. So this really becomes 6/8. So these two are colored in. And all of these are colored in. So you have 6/8. Well, 6/8 can be reduced to 3 out of 4. So you'll notice that there is 1, 2, 3 out of 4. So 6/8 is equivalent to 3/4. So our final answer in those terms is 3.